Okay. Welcome to the Yee Yee Show. This is episode 3. I'm talking about. This is the show where we, give all the flowers to who deserve their flowers, and interviewing all those haulers and junk removal. You know what I mean? Family members getting their money, and just doing what they do. And Mr. Yee Yee shows love. This is the Yee Yee Show. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and we're doing this, and it's a pleasure to do this and bring you guys all this raw unfiltered content, and interviewing haulers that are all around the nation, and that do what I do. I'm just a guy with a truck and a double trailer. But anyways, we got a good show for you guys today. We got some two haulers that are in the game, getting money, having control of their life, and doing what they got to do, and they took that leap of faith and got into the junk removal world, and this is what they're doing now. And it's a blessing to have these two on the show, and I hope that this show reaches out to you guys, and makes you feel that you can do it too, and motivates you guys, because that's what the yee is all about. The yee is all about helping you guys out and bringing you guys those facts and that knowledge, and it's what it's all about. But hope you guys like the show, and if you guys like, leave a comment below, and make sure you like and subscribe, support the movement, and let's go. Let's bring these two in, and I don't even have to even even say who it is. I'm gonna let them say who it is.
What's
Okay,
up?
What's up,
okay.
YEEEEEEEEE?
Okay, so here it is. I didn't let them know who was coming on yet. So I want you guys to let the world out there know who you two are. Let them.
What's up, everybody? First and foremost, I want to thank Yee Yee, Mr. Yee Yee. Thank you for having us on. We've built this relationship over the couple months we met at the Junk Expo, and it's just been a pleasure all around. But my name is Sarah, and this
This is
is
Vince.
and we're Load Runners Junk Removal. We've been in the business for 1 year, and we're from Chatsworth, which is a suburb in LA County.
Oh boy, and it's just like that. Welcome to the show, Sarah. Welcome to the show, V Love. You know what I'm talking about? And he's wearing his glasses. You know what I mean? It's all good. He's real mafia right now. Don't worry about it. You look like a stud. So
He might be recording you.
hey, hey, if you got the Ray Bans, hey, that's a game changer in junk removal. We'll get to
See the
that.
blinking light? See the blinking light?
Yeah. Don't be telling on yourself now. You know what I'm saying? But that's wonderful. And I met these two at the Junk Expo, but they were followers of the Yee Yee. And
Yeah.
when I met you guys, you know what I mean? It was just like, it was like a blessing, because you guys are in the game, and you guys are new to the game, and you guys are, uh, uh doing what you're supposed to do in the game, and the energy you guys have, and as watching you guys on social media, your platforms, and just saying, man, they're putting a dent in there. They're putting a dent in the SoCal, and they're based out of SoCal, and these are a duo. It's a couple. It's a wife and a husband, a mother and a father, and they're in junk removal. And it's not easy being having that category in junk removal. Budgeting all that, family, kids, all this stuff, and let us
Yep.
know how it is to budget all that, the family, and
So
business.
So on the daily, it's a struggle. We have two young kids. We have one older one, but she's off doing her own thing. But just trying to find like a babysitter and try to juggle everything in between, these jobs calling. And we always say we're like firefighters. When that phone rings, we got to go. And like a good example of that is you get a call, and if you're not in front of the customer at that moment, or if you don't feel that it's a customer that you could
Push off.
put off for a day or two, they're going to end up going and calling another hauler, and you might just lose that job. So
Yeah.
it every day, to be honest, like I want to say like 70% of our jobs, our kids go with us. If they're not in school, they're with us. So we have to balance just working, keeping the household, all the household activities down, and juggling practices and school events. But to be honest, if we could do it,
We do it. We work
anybody
on our
could
own
do it.
time. That's the best part. We work on our own time. We schedule stuff to an extent, But when we go knock out these jobs, 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and we're good, you know, and we're staying on the big jobs on the bigger side. You know, we hardly do minimum pickups and all that. So most of our jobs are like 300 and up, you know, and it's not even to say that we don't do minimum pickups. It's just we don't get those jobs. It's just we get 300 and up, you know, and we're cool with that. We're cool with that.
I'm gonna do like the movie said, big time, big time. You know what I mean, Mr. Big
But
Time.
our favorite like loads is like a quarter load because it's a minimum amount of time and you're making like the most for your cubic yardage.
Yeah,
So
even half loads are good.
yeah, a
So,
quarter to a half load jobs are really good.
so how did you guys come up with the name?
You know, the rap songs, road run, you know, everybody talking about road running and do this and that. And we always been hustlers and we always been on the street. You know, we would have been all city if we could, you know, but the name was taken already. But we literally are all city, like we're all over LA County. We're LA, but we're all over LA County, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because that name, All City, there's a guy who's literally like within 10 miles of us, and he reached out to us and we started talking to him. So we're cool now, like on Instagram and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
he's the one who ended up having the name All City. But
Nice. Okay.
But I'm happy with load runners, you know, running
Yeah.
them
Maybe,
loads, man.
maybe that name picked you guys because a lot of times you know, things pick us. Like you
yeah,
know, like my
and
truck, it picked me.
there's a trailer brand called the Load Runner too. So
Yeah.
it is.
My interstate has a trailer called the Load Runner. Yeah,
Okay.
I
Okay.
think even JT Solutions has one. I think.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. My people over there, JT Solutions over there in Texas. Nice.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Shout out to them. You know, another duo putting a dent in the junk removal business. And
Exactly.
you know, so basically you guys are making it work. You know, you're packing them up and you're loading them up, and you know, you're it's not easy doing what you're doing. And at first I want to say your background looks very nice. You know what I
Thank
mean?
you.
The trees, the vines, and all the, you know, you put that together nice. It looks better than mine. But anyways.
Well, I told you I want to start my YouTube, you know, my
Yeah.
little YouTube journey.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to do all the YouTube-y type things, you know.
Mhm.
They have the
Mhm.
little backlight going on and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So I'm
So,
trying to do it,
so,
bro.
so Sarah, how do you feel about junk removal being a female in the industry? And you know, this business could be a lot of wear and tear on your body, even though I know you're tough because you know you gave birth a few times, and that's probably I can't I don't know what that pain feels like, but you know what I mean?
Nah, so to be honest, like if I could do it, anybody could do it because when I first started junk removal, I was like more than 55 pounds heavier than what I am right now.
Yeah,
So junk
yeah,
removal, it definitely helped in that aspect. But it's honestly the right tools. The right tools makes any job so much easier. So
yeah.
as long as you have, you know, the hustle in you, you're going to be able to do anything. And then watching videos like by Clutter Reduction and stuff like that, he has a lot of videos that you guys can go watch where he shows you how to move big items with solo, just one person could
Yeah.
move a big armoire and stuff like that. But being a female in the junk industry, like sometimes I feel like we don't get enough credit because we're girls and there's some guys out there who think only guys should be haulers, you know, but as long as you're putting in the work, we belong to be here. We
Well,
deserve to be here.
I think you're a strong female in the game. You know what I mean? The girls are at home, the females are taking care of business. And, you know, maybe it's your time to come out the shell and, you know, start your YouTube and start your journey and documentate and be that role model for your community and your family to show that, hey, I'm doing this, I'm putting my pride to the side. But guess what? We're making money that takes care of the family and we're free and independent and we don't got to report to duty like those other jarheads. But you know
Yeah,
what I
for
mean?
sure. Like
That's
when he first told me like, hey, let's start a junk removal business, I was like, junk
Okay,
removal.
hang on, time out. Let's get to Vincent's hustle before Vincent was into junk removal. Tell us, Vincent,
Oh, he did a
your
lot.
about your
Yeah,
background. There you-
so like a lot of we've mentioned before, we were selling couches, we're flipping couches. All we
Mhm.
did is sell peer free couches, so they were all profit. So we were picking up these couches, and that game that we were in, that was $100,000 business by itself.
Yeah.
So honestly, junk removal, we haven't got to that point yet where it's life changing because we've already been in the 8 to 10 a month, you know. So
Mhm.
now with the junk removal, we're hoping to go 15 or 20 consistent months.
Mhm.
You know, that's going to be a game changer for us.
So,
But I said,
so
you know,
how did you get into the couch flipping business? How did you know about, how to get couches? Because there's another show that is showing right now, and he's a speaker at the Junk Expo, the 2025 Junk Expo. Shout out to Sonoma Strong. And how did you guys get into picking up couches? How did you know about that?
well, 3 years ago, we were on YouTube, same way. And there was this, he's a realtor influencer guy in the realty space named Ryan Pineda. And he started flipping couches around 2021. And he was just making a game. And he was getting popular on TikTok and YouTube. So we saw a couple of couch flipping videos and we were just hooked. Like, we're going to go get a bucket, you know, a little truck for 3,000, and we're going to pick up these free couches and we're going to sell them. And we tried it out and it just started working, and it started working, and it paid the bills. It was just coming in.
Hmm.
Couches are so expensive in the store, you know, 1,000 to 3,000
Oh
for a
yeah.
couch.
Oh
So
yeah.
we're selling them anywhere from 300 to 800, and we're selling them all day. All day. We
Mhm.
had to get storage units. We were living in a townhouse. We had to get storage units, and they were just selling all day. And that's all we would do is pick up free couches and bring in that
So,
money.
so what made the transformation?
So wait, hold on. Even before couches though, he's always been like a hustler. He's
That's what
always been,
that's
like,
what I wanted to hear.
selling.
I wanted to hear
Yeah.
from
So he's
ever since
always
you were in
been
eighth grade.
selling stuff. So from the moment I got pregnant with our first daughter, he had picked up a MacBook and he actually had bought it for himself. But that year, it was like 2017. On New Year's, actually, he posted it for sale, and he had bought the MacBook for like $100, and he ended up flipping it for like $400. So
Wow.
that's what got him into like flipping stuff.
Mhm.
So
Spreading your
at that
hustle.
point, yeah, at that point, he was flipping MacBooks like back to back to back
Yeah.
daily, just
People
like the
still
couches, you know,
people still are like, eBay sales, that's big.
and iPhones and all of that stuff. So that was like that was his first taste of like of that lifestyle where he wanted to just make that extra money. And he was working a 9 to 5 at the time. So it
Mhm.
was just, it was play money. But we seen how easy it was to like just buy something at a low cost and be able to upsell it. So he went from MacBooks to drones to cars to couches, and now we're doing junk
Now here we
removal.
are. Now here we are.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's a blessing. So tell us about your equipment. So what does Load Runners, use, and how you getting around town, and how did you decide that you wanted these two pieces of equipment to bring in that money?
Well, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. You can go.
So well, we already had a truck from the couches, but we started off junk removal with the older truck. You know, we had an old Tundra. We did
Mhm.
have an Escalade, which when we got our trailers, the Escalade worked, but it was more of a family vehicle. It wasn't ideal for junk removal. So we started off with the older truck, like Matt. It was like a 2002 Tundra or something like that, and we still have it.
It was a
And
2000.
yeah, and we started off with the utility trailer. We did a couple of jobs with hand unloading and loading, and we didn't last very long. And we said, you know what, we're gonna go get this button. You know, I have good credit. We actually did the finance with the with the free, the free interest for
12
no
months.
interest for a year.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
got a business credit card. When we started the business, we did everything from jump. So we did like the LLC and the website and all that,
Yeah.
Google
Mhm.
business page. We did all of that
Mhm.
stuff
Mhm.
before we even actually started junk removal. So then we applied for a business credit card. Once we did a couple jobs with that utility trailer, we were like, no, that's for the
Yeah, we
birds.
still have it. But we still have it. It's just sitting there, but it's good
Mhm.
to have around. But we needed to get in and out of the dump. You know, ain't nobody have time to be doing all that unloading.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you guys did all that, and
No,
you
so we
guys,
got we got the business credit card with it was 18 months, no interest. And from just doing junk removal, we ended up paying the trailer off in 2 months. So
beautiful,
it's
beautiful,
yeah,
yeah.
you
So
don't get no interest. We don't advise anybody to get in debt in this business. Start with what you have. So we started
yeah,
with a 2000 Toyota Tundra, and now we have a 2024 Toyota Tundra.
And we
nice.
got that.
Yeah.
So you were in business, you got the LLC, you're starting to do junk removal. You are a prodigy of the Sonoma Strong course. So tell us, when did you guys decide that, you know what, maybe we should take this course and, it can help us?
So we actually started in April of last year. And when we started, we were just watching the YouTube videos and doing everything on our own. But then we went to the Junk Expo, which honestly, if you're considering starting junk removal, if you're already in junk removal, I advise anybody who's even mildly interested in junk removal to go to the expo, because that was like a game changer for us. Not only for the education that you're going to get from the expo, but from all the networking that you do. Like we said, we met you at the expo. We met so many different haulers. There was even people from our area who went that we didn't know before going to the expo. So right after the expo, that's when we were like, hey, I think maybe this course will help us get to the next level. So right after then, we contacted Matt and Jojo and we signed up. I think we took it like in January.
Right
I
after
think
that,
it was in
January.
January.
Hmm.
Because they only offer it at certain points of the year. So
Well,
when that next one after the expo, when it opened up, we ended up
yeah.
taking it.
Well, not only that though, they don't just allow anybody to come into the
Oh, for
course.
sure.
So
Yeah.
before, I'm pretty sure before you get to go into the course, they map you out and make sure you're a right candidate, because they
Yeah.
I think that a lot of haulers reach out to them, but like, you got to fit their, you know what I mean, their
Criteria.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they only want to, train the right ones and help the right ones. They don't want to help any lazy hustlers. You
Not
know.
only that, but they check like your area where you're at. They want to
Mhm.
make sure you have a good population. They also
Yeah,
want to make sure that you're not in an area where somebody else who's taken the course, they don't
yeah,
want to give
yeah.
two haulers in the same area taking the course, because that's just gonna
The same
be like
sauce,
rivalry. Yeah.
Yeah. So absolutely. So all you haulers out there who are thinking about they need some info, what I mean, if you still have time, you can go to the Junk Expo 2025 right here in Northern California. Contact Sonoma Strong. But also, if you think you need a little bit more help, you can also, contact Matt and Jojo at Sonoma Strong for their course. And there's a plug. But anyways, you know what I mean. So
Hey,
now you
it's
guys.
really helpful. So I would advise anybody to take it
Mhm.
for sure.
So now you finished the course and you're out there, you know what I mean? Tell me about it.
So it changed, honestly, like the way we were doing things, because they help you with not only your branding, but your entire like look of your website. They give you tips and things like that. So they honestly helped us with like our photos and the way we were capturing our content and things like that. People don't want to just see like before and after
Yeah.
pictures,
Mhm,
they
mhm,
want to see who's in the business. They want to
mhm.
see who's coming to their house. So now when we post on social media, it's like photos of
We
us.
really stand out because there's a lot of junk haulers in the area, but you don't see any face. You don't see no face to the brand whatsoever. So we really do stand out from the other haulers in our area, and
So
we get recognized more than people that've been in the game longer than us.
nice. You're definitely putting a mark in, putting your own steps in the sand, and that's what makes you stand out. And so what form of website do you guys use to create your website? Who did you decide to go through?
So I've made a couple of websites in the past.
Okay.
So it's called Ionis. It's like to be honest, it's like probably the cheapest in the game. When
Hey,
you
it
first
works.
when you first start up, it's only $1 for your domain. And then the website, I think at the time it was probably like 14 to $18 a month. Now
Mhm.
it's like $200 for the year, and it just
Yeah.
keeps running. Yeah, but it's to me it was It was a
It does
little
the job.
learning curve, but it's pretty easy to use to like add all your pages and to
Mhm.
add all your information and stuff like that and to edit it. So honestly, like I wouldn't go hiring somebody to do your website. I would
Mhm.
try to do it on your if you're just starting out in the junk removal business, I would say try to do it on your own unless you have big bucks and you can go ahead and spend what you want to spend on it, you know?
But
So
we low key copied a lot from Jedi Junk Removal.
okay, hang on. We're getting to that. We're getting to that. So are you guys using any type of CRM for your
Um,
clients or
so we are signed up with the CRM, but I'm gonna be completely honest, we don't use it all the time.
okay, yeah.
It's not it's just because like if we would have that's one thing I'm actually gonna make a video about that, like our top 3 mistakes that we made when we started. So
Mhm.
one mistake that I could say that we made is not using the CRM from the beginning
Mhm.
because it's like it's harder to get in the groove of doing it once you already have your routine down. So it's
Mhm.
easier to start with something and stick with it than learning new things along the way. Even though we're constantly learning, it's just harder to like implement it now and to remember like, oh, I need to put the customer in the CRM. And
Mhm.
so like if you're just getting in the game, I would say start as soon as you can. Everything doesn't have to be perfect from the beginning. You
Mhm.
will get there, but as far as us like constantly using it, we're not constantly using it, but we
Yeah.
do have a secret.
Yeah, because a
Okay.
lot of our jobs they don't get scheduled a week from now, 2 weeks from now. It's like on a
Yeah.
daily basis,
Mhm.
on the fly, So
Yeah.
it's we're
Yeah.
already at the job before we could even log it in.
Yeah, I contact my clients just manually and do everything I can. And okay, so what about your social media? Are you like posting every day on Facebook, Instagram, TikToks? Because that's tell us your story about that.
Yeah, so we do post on all free platforms. We don't pay for any leads. And like he was saying about being in like $100,000 industry, the
Mm-hmm.
$100,000 a year, you could honestly do that without having to pay for any ads, any
Mm-hmm.
leads, anything like that. So from jump, we had already said we were going to do everything organic. So we do all our own SEO. We do all our own
Spam Facebook,
website. He constantly spams
get
Facebook.
kicked off of groups here and there.
We're
Mm-hmm.
on Facebook, Nextdoor, Instagram. I
Mm-hmm.
think he just signed up with LinkedIn to have a
Okay.
LinkedIn profile.
Uh-huh. No doubt,
So
no doubt.
yeah. So all the free platforms, that's how we get honestly, we get a lot of jobs from Nextdoor. The Nextdoor app
Mhm.
and word of mouth, repeat
Yeah.
clients. We've never paid for anything. The most we've paid for was yard signs.
I think with next door, the more you
Hmm.
stand out and the more good you look and the more professional you look, you'll get a lot of business because you're different
Yeah.
from those local guys who, you know, I have room in my trailer. I can pick up some more trash today. Reach out to me, or those people who comment on comments. If somebody's saying, "Hey, I'm looking for a cheap junk removal business, please comment below," and then there's like 50 different comments,
Yeah.
and
I don't
I tr-
I
I
don't want to
trust.
I
Yeah,
don't
Yeah,
want to be commented on those.
yeah, I don't like all those notifications, so I don't even, I don't even
No,
know.
but on Nextdoor, we have like a lot of people who've used us in the past. They blow us up on there. So they'll put like if somebody's looking for some junk removal or I need an
Yeah,
apartment cleaned out or whatever,
mhm,
they speak for our business because we offer that, top-notch
yeah,
service
yeah.
that they're willing to go ahead and spread our name out there. Like I had made a post yesterday and then somebody had put a negative comment on there and our customers went in and they were going to blows with the person for us.
occasionally we'll have a Karen saying, "Oh, you guys post too much, and you guys are
Mhm,
like too in your face, and I don't want to deal
yeah,
with the business like that and stuff like
mhm.
that." And like,
It's all part of the bit.
just keep scrolling, just keep
I've been in
scrolling.
next door jail for 3 days. Don't worry, I got a
Uh,
good bail bondsman. I always get out. But
yeah,
so that's the good thing about those type of free social media platforms is that when you interact with your customers very, very, very good, they'll post for you and tag
Right.
you and do a before and after post for you on their Facebook or their
Yeah.
next door. And that's like almost as good. That's probably just as good as a Google review because they might have 200 followers who watch them every day. And
Yeah.
I've got plenty of jobs from when people have commented and said, "Hey, you did my friend's house. I trust you because you did that person's house real good. I need some help too." Absolutely.
Yeah, so people will find you on all of those social media or through, like you're saying, the word of mouth, and
Mhm.
by them putting you on their Facebooks or Instagrams and all of that, because when you offer that good service, your clients are gonna yell your names from the rooftops, you know?
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. So,
And just with that exposure you of posting, a lot of people reach out to us. We got featured on a magazine before because they were
mhm,
like, I like your guys' vibe, I like your guys' energy.
mhm,
I get realtors telling me I like your guys' posts.
mhm.
We get recognized by other haulers who shoot us jobs, and actually been one of our best commercial job accounts
Uh-huh.
because other haulers reach out to us saying, "Hey, you guys look legit. We want to refer to you guys."
So like how you guys have your 707 connection
Oh
and how
boy.
you would refer jobs out to each other.
Yes.
So there was somebody in the comments saying like how do you know who to trust or something like that when you're
Mm,
referring jobs out, or they've referred jobs out and it ended up not working out. Well,
yeah.
we have other haulers that trust in what we do because they know what kind of service that we offer. So they'll
Mhm.
shoot us jobs and vice versa, we'll shoot them jobs too.
It's
But he
truly
was
a
saying,
go ahead. I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. Oh, I was gonna say, like he was saying though, our largest commercial account right now we got from another person in the industry who shot us a job, and that job has paid us back time after time after time. I'm
Yeah.
not going to
Real.
talk about numbers, but for
Yeah.
It's
sure.
up there. It's up there.
Yeah.
It's up there.
Real Cindy Lauper. Time after time.
Yeah,
Time
for
after
sure.
time. So, with that said, are you guys like out there still? Maybe you did this in the beginning, the guerrilla marketing, putting your foots, going to the realtor's office, this is going to businesses, going to commercial and all that good stuff that everybody says you need to do when you first start. Are you guys
We
doing
did
that
it.
still?
No, so we did it a lot in the beginning. Recently, we haven't had the need to. Like we should because we gotta, keep our face out there.
Yeah, yeah.
But a lot of it is
But
through
at
social
first we
media.
were taking all the jobs, but now it just seems like we're picking our jobs, and we just
Mm,
shoot for the bigger jobs. That's all we want: the
mm.
cleanouts, the evictions, the hoarder houses. The
So,
nastier, the better.
okay,
We just look for
okay,
those
Vince.
jobs.
Okay, Vince. So you are taking all the jobs. You are taking over. Are you referring those smaller jobs to other haulers in your area?
We
Hello.
we
Oh, oh, let's go. Come on, V baby.
we try to take it. If we could take it, we could take it. If we can't get to it, it absolutely can't. We're gonna reach out to someone in our area.
But what
That's
he
right.
means is like if there's a job where it's like a concrete job or a dirt job or something like that, and
Yeah,
they reach
yeah.
out to us like so recently I had a guy reach out to me and he said, "Hey, I got some concrete and some dirt right here." I said, "Honestly, I would rent a dumpster if I were you." I told
Yeah.
him because I know
Mhm.
you're not going to want to pay what I'm going to charge you to do it. And
Yeah.
we in the beginning we did concrete and dirt jobs, so we know what it takes to do
Mhm.
those jobs. And we
Mhm.
did
Yeah.
this
It's a lot of
one
work.
where significantly underbid the job, and we
We
were
all been
working
there.
our ass off.
We all been
It was for a
there.
contract, but we learn. We're gonna get the job done regardless. We're not the type to say, "Oh, we underbid it. We're gonna change the price on you." If we already gave you a price, we gave you a price, and we're gonna eat it. And now we know for the future.
As
So
long
just
as it's an in-person bid. If we bid the job in person and we gave the price, then
Mhm.
that's going to be the price. We're gonna eat the
all
cost.
that all that dirt. A couple of days later, we did the job, and it rained, so the dirt
Yeah.
turned to mud,
Yeah.
heavier and messier. You know.
Well, you know what? All those things factor the price because I've had jobs that I've quoted, and when I was on the job site, I was like, "Damn, I fucked up." this job should have been this much money. And I had to
Yeah.
go to the client and say, hey, you know what? Nothing against you, or but the price I gave you, this job is a little bit harder than we thought. And as you see me over here being here longer, and some clients, they totally understand. They totally
Yeah.
understand. They're just like, F it, I don't care. I want it off my property.
So I've had a couple of those conversations with clients, but it was my mistake because we did the bid through
Mhm,
photos,
mhm.
and I would highly recommend to not do that. I'll
Yeah,
do all your bids in person because
yeah,
you're less likely to mess up if you do it in person. But
yes. Those
one of those
in-person prices.
through photos, we underbid. And when I got there, I was like, look, I was like, this is the picture and this is the pile of the stuff. It's a lot bigger than what this looks like. Can you agree? And he was like, yeah. I said, so the price is gonna have to go up. And he just wanted it done. So he
Yeah,
agreed with the price. But if we go and we bid it in person, we're gonna stick to the price that we said
yeah,
because that was all bad, you know?
and that and those things work out the right way when you communicate to your clients and just talk to them and communicate to them. And when you're a professional and you know how to and you know the language of junk removal, you'll be surprised how far you can get and how much more you can get.
Yeah, and sometimes they appreciate you even more, like
Mhm.
because we've done a couple jobs where I was like, we did the job and I was like, to be honest, I should have charged you like $200 more for this job because it ended up being more of a load than we had anticipated.
Yeah.
But I'll tell them, I go, I'm not going to charge you anymore. We're going to stick with that price. And those are the ones that are going to scream your name from the rooftops because they were so happy with the service that you gave them. And they
Mhm.
knew that it should have been more. And we didn't end up charging them more. We stuck to the price that we gave them. So those are the clients that'll leave you reviews and put you on their
Mhm.
Facebook and all of that
And
because they
and
appreciate the job you did.
and those become lifetime clients. Like
For sure.
some people do analytics and say that client's going to bring you $5,000 until for your whole business is open. But I think that they bring you more than that, because if they could refer you and tell other people about you, you're just going to keep on getting more money. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's like a
Even
snowball.
some of our repeat clients, we'll try to show them love. We'll be like,
Mhm.
oh, here with $200, just $200, and they'll give us 350.
Mhm.
Just because they're like they just want to hook
So
us up.
We've
here's
had clients that'll tip us like big, like more than what the job actually cost,
So are you using any type of Clover device, like, the big Clover with the receipt with the tip thing, or how do you guys accept payment?
So the way that we get payment is through credit card. It goes directly on my phone. So I
Yeah.
have the tap function on my phone.
Is that
I
Clover
use
or is
this.
that Square?
It's straight.
It's through Stripe, but it's through an app that I found a long time ago that I used for one of my
Mhm.
other businesses.
Yeah.
That it's an invoicing app, so it's basically like a CRM, and
Yeah.
you could take payments directly from your phone. You don't need any additional devices or anything like that. You literally just tap the card to the phone, and I'm not gonna give that out right here, but I'm gonna share it soon. Just
Mhm.
not.
Sometimes when the tap isn't working, you have to enter it manually, right?
I wouldn't suggest doing.
Or scan it.
You can, but the reason why I don't suggest typing it in manually is because it makes it a lot easier for the client to do a chargeback. If the card isn't physically there, if you're not able to swipe it or tap it, they consider the card not being physically there. You just entering it in manually, and the credit card company will do a chargeback if the client,
The
wants to.
reason the reason why I bring that up is because a lot of people don't know this in the game, but when you get hooked up in this business, and I recommend everybody who starts this business is to reach out to a local CPA, a certified professional accountant, which that's all they do. They don't do junk removal on the side. They don't do moving. They're straight accountants, bookkeeping, financial advising. But because when you scan that card and a tap is not working, or you scan that card, take a picture, you are getting charged like 3%, or
Mhm.
more or less, and you don't realize that until the end of the year. And you say, like, man, they charged me all these fees, and you didn't even know that because you weren't aware of that. When when the tap is working, that's beautiful, but when you enter it manually or scan it, you're getting charged from the device you're using, and then a transaction fee from your bank account. So it's like you don't really think about it, but you just lost 5% of that job, just like that.
The way that I go around all of that, my
Tell us,
fees,
tell us.
my credit card fees the customer pays the card fees. So when I tell the customers, look, I accept this form of payment and credit card, I go, but with credit cards, there is a 4% transaction fee. And then they're like, okay, well then I'll pay cash, or okay, it's okay. I'll still use my card, And
Mhm.
I've never had a client say like, no, I'm not going to pay because I have to pay the 4%. Everybody is happy with,
Or
they're
they could
fine
give a
with paying
Zelle, or they
the
could write a
4%.
check.
hmm
Doesn't matter. You're taking it all. That's right. So
Yeah, but
next,
we don't incur the fees. The client does
so
as a
next,
convenience. Go ahead.
next situation is, uh, how's your family taking all this? How's you guys' family taking all this? That you're like, whoa, girl, you went from this to that. V, you went from this to that.
To be honest, so I feel like when we started doing the junk removal, they were already like, you guys are on your bullshit again, because we
Another
went from
situation.
doing one thing to another to another.
We just
So
surprised everybody. We just came home with a brand new truck, just like, oh, like that, by the way, we got our new truck, like
this is our new
we
business.
just got a new
Mhm,
trailer, just
mhm.
brand new. We're just like, oh, one day to the next.
But in the beginning, like his dad is still kind of like against it, but in the beginning my parents were like, oh, maybe he should go look for another 9 to 5, and I was already
Oh, my dad
self-employed
wants to work for us now.
now. So in the beginning, I was already self-employed. I'm going on 9 years self-employed, so I already had quit that 9 to 5 life, and
I'm going on
he's going on
3 years.
4 years. He's
Or
going on 4 years
Mhm.
self-employed. But in the beginning, they were like, maybe you should look for another 9 to 5. You need that stability. You need
Yeah,
that retirement or
yeah,
401k, whatever.
yeah. Of
But we were
course.
like, no, that lifestyle is not for us. We're gonna do it on our own. And sure
Yeah,
enough, now everybody's like, we get so many calls for people who want to come work for us. Like, I've
yeah.
already hired my brother several times. I've hired my dad a couple times, and now his
Mm.
dad is about to retire, and his dad's like, "Hey, I'm gonna come work for
my
you
brother and
guys."
my cousin just called for work.
Like
Mhm.
everybody in the family now wants to come and work for us, but in the
Yeah,
beginning they were like, "Y'all are crazy. I don't know what you're thinking. This isn't gonna work out." And now everybody's like rooting for us because they
yeah.
see how successful we've become.
Well, I don't think I think it's I think it's kind of that because you don't show them all your financial,
Oh
but
no, yeah, for sure.
they see how happy you guys are and how you put 120% into this. Like, everything is all about load runners.
Yeah.
Everything is all about, we wear this shirt everywhere. We're doing this, we're doing that, and now they're seeing it. You
When you
feel
put on your shirt, yee yee, do you feel like a superhero? Because that's how I feel when I'm like when I put my shirt on, I'm like, yeah, I made this, and I actually literally made the shirt, but I'm
me?
like this is our business,
Mm,
I feel
yeah.
proud to like wear my shirt wherever, grocery store, or
Mhm.
anywhere, like this is my
Yeah. Well, it's
uniform,
your brand. It's your brand.
for sure.
You have to wear that so people see it, and they may not act like they're seeing it, but that person behind you is like, "Oh, oh,
Yeah.
oh."
I,
There's times that we feel like they're just putting the LR sign in the sky, like a Batman sign, and they're just like load runners, and we got
So
to go take the call.
so in my household, in my casa, as
uh-huh.
soon as I get home, I take the uniform off. I'm not Mr. Yee Yee no more. When I come home, I'm RUDY. And my
Oh,
wife's
for
like,
sure.
babe, turn it down. You're home. You're home. Babe, please don't say the word. Please don't, babe, please don't do it.
She
Yee,
don't want to hear the yee
yee. Yeah,
yee.
babe, please, babe. And when you're watching video like you watch all day, every day, can you watch it over there because you're a little loud and I hear, you know what I mean? But it's just the reason why I asked that about your family is because everywhere I go in my household, as soon as I walk to the front door, my dad's like yee yee,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And it's a
They
blessing.
hype you up, you know? They hype you up. They see how your life is going and
But you
Mhm.
got our kids running around the house saying it too, just from watching your
Mhm.
videos.
Well,
yeah.
you
You
know,
know,
like I tell a lot of people, you should come up with some theme, some kind of theme where you can run with it, and like when you guys do, I've seen you guys do a little. I think you do a lot of you do a lot of community things for the community, and you
Yeah.
volunteer your time. Maybe you need to bring the Roadrunner mascot out,
Yeah.
and you'd
So
be
I do a lot of
surprised.
like the feeding the homeless stuff.
Vincent,
It's crazy though because we do homeless encampment cleanups, but
yeah.
I'm like I feel like the villain and the hero at the same time
Hmm.
because I'm
Hmm.
like on one end of things I'm like taking all your stuff and throwing it away, but and then on the other end I'm like helping and doing like things for the community and for people who are less fortunate, you know?
Well, at the end of the
But
day, you have to pay bills, and you
yeah, I
have a
gotta
and you
move
have a
on
and you have a job you have to do. So
for
that's
sure.
why, I do a lot of things, go in a lot of situations where I'm like, man, I get paid to do this, but this is what I do for a living, and this is just what we do. Yes, they could have did it themselves, but a lot of people don't have the strength, the knowledge, or the effort, or they're embarrassed, and they're
And
just like, I need help.
it's not just like junk removal. Like it's not just people think, oh, junk removal is just taking people's trash and like throwing it away. It's not even that.
Mhm.
Like I really feel in a lot of situations, I'm making a difference in that person's life. Like they're getting back. There's some houses that we've gone into that they didn't see their living room for 10 years, 20 years, you know,
Yeah.
they weren't able to see the floor for that many
Mhm.
years. So when we're doing those type of clean outs and we're giving them their space back, it's like we're giving them a piece of their life back, you know?
we even give some of them hugs. They ask for hugs and everything.
Yeah, all that. Yeah, yeah, no, yeah. That's just because you're becoming a factor in your
They feel
community.
that they feel that we're genuine. They feel that we're really there to help them, not just take their money.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
We build
that makes a lot of big difference for us.
So what about your resale? Are you guys reselling a lot because you're getting more business? You're seeing a lot more stuff. But I see you guys in a lot of like hoarders, house clean outs, and a lot of situations where there ain't too much stuff. But
It's funny that you asked that today because we had downsized from 3 storages to 1 storage, and today we just closed out that last storage.
hmm.
So our resale game was like big and it was going and going and going, but it takes a lot of time from what we're
So
doing
as
as
our
junk
junk
haulers.
removal business is growing, we're having less time to deal with that stuff.
It's building up.
And
It's building up.
we're like I said, we're targeting the bigger, higher ticket jobs. So
Yeah.
that's what's worth it to us. That's what's worth it to us.
You guys want to hear something?
What's that?
So I have a crew that I have a crew that they go to the flea market every week and sell a lot of stuff. And they call me and say, "Hey, Yee, we'll take all your inventory.
Yeah.
Just we'll go half on everything." So as you guys say that, it feels so good to get your space back and not pay that bill anymore and not have to worry about, damn, I got 3 storage units just building up. We're wasting this money, all year. So that's what I'm trying to get into, another area of just reselling. And yes, I can go get my own 12 by 12 at the local flea market and get 2 spaces and sell everything, at least try. But I got a team who goes there already, and they sell everything. A lot of people go there to buy stuff to resell,
Yeah.
because
So
it's
like
flea market prices.
our last inventory that we had in there, he sold it all to a reseller yesterday.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we do team up with people like that too, where we
yeah.
know what they sell and we'll
Mm.
give them the stuff at a discounted price
Yes,
because
that's
we need it to go like that. We don't want to be storing things for
When
months.
there's meat on the bone, we'll just pass it to somebody else. If that's your hustle,
Mhm.
that's your hustle. We respect your hustle.
Yeah.
Make the money how you got to make it, and
Mhm.
we, do you, and we're gonna do us.
So this person
Right,
that I'm
right now, we
using,
have a garage full of stuff. Right now,
yeah, and cars belong in garages. You know what I'm
we have
saying?
everything but a car in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In my house, my wife is so happy that we don't put junk in the garage. Both our cars are in the garage. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And we can walk in our garage. No
So well,
problem.
we can use our garage is still usable, but we have I plan on doing like one big garage sale.
So we're
Like
gonna have a yard sale one day. One day.
yeah, we're gonna do it within the next couple weeks. We're gonna have one
Mhm.
big garage sale, and then anything else that doesn't sell, we're just gonna give it away, or
So,
it's gonna end up going to
okay.
the dump.
So to all the people watching, what would you recommend? Do you recommend that they fall in love with stuff and bring stuff home? Or how would you recommend, as soon as you get it, what would you recommend?
Don't even look at it. That's don't even look at it.
No. So I wouldn't recommend bringing stuff home because then you're going to be in the same situation as the person who called you to have it removed, you know?
Mhm.
So in the beginning when we first started, yeah, we were bringing things home left and right like, "Oh, this is good. I can't believe somebody's getting rid of this."
Mhm. Mhm.
Now it's like it's like a, do I need it? Do I want it? Is it
Mhm.
functional for our space? Is it gonna add value? If not, then we're gonna give it to somebody else, or it's gonna
Like
have to
that,
go to the dump because
like that tree behind you or that cabinet.
oh, free.
Yeah, the whole house is furnished by
Yeah.
free stuff.
See that
Our literally our entire home is furnished with all junk
that's
removal.
the and that's the blessing that we get, that we find so many goods, so many hidden
Yeah.
gems.
They
But
all come from $1 million homes.
let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this. Vincent, would you go buy an Escalade now?
Oh, definitely not.
Yes,
I
yes. Why
would.
not?
I would.
Because now I'm at an age where I need to start acquiring some property and really step my game up. And the only way, that's why we see a lot of people in the industry, and we notice it takes them about 4 or 5 years to get in a good position. And we feel that we've been hustling so hard that we're trying to knock that time in half.
Yeah, you
So
can.
we're a year in. So by the next year and a half, we're ready to really move it up.
Yeah.
And step it up.
So Sarah, why would you want to buy one?
Honestly, because the Escalade out of I've had a lot of cars. I've had
You can
Porsches,
dream
I've had
things.
BMWs, I've had a lot of different cars, but the Escalade is just like that's the we had the ESV, the extended platinum edition with the
Yeah,
massage seats and all that. Honestly, that was like the most comfortable car, the best car to do road trips with. The like our truck is real comfortable, but that Escalade was like, this is like luxury in a vehicle.
My dream truck would be like a F-250 or a F-350 dually lifted, about $140,000 truck, in
that
my dream. But
that
that's
doesn't do any.
that's after my house, that's everything. But that
That's
would
your
be my
everyday
ideal
car too.
vehicle.
That's your everyday car too, right? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
beautiful. I love that. That's why I do this. I ask those real questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because I wouldn't go out and go buy an Escalade right now. I wouldn't go. I want a Porsche. I want a 911 turbo. You know what I mean? I already
yeah,
have a Corvette. I want to go. I want a Porsche. I want one of those Smurf blue with the yellow interior. I want to. When me and my wifey get on the highway and go drink some and go have some good time. We like to jump out of those erotic things and just, with the shorts and flip flops. And, that's how we do it out
Well, I
here.
got my eye on the Lambo Urus, the
Yeah.
SUV Lambo, but that's
But,
that's down the road. But I
but,
got my eye on it. I got my eye on it.
but where I'm at with my mind right now, I wouldn't do it yet because,
yeah,
I feel that there's better things in life to invest into, like, property and real estate and, mutual funds and putting money away. But, of course, we want to live.
yeah.
We
So
want to
I'm not
live.
saying when I said I would buy the Escalade, I'm not saying I would take our money and go get Escalade right now. I'm not trying to waste money like that.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
we traded in our Escalade because the Escalade, we were using it to haul in the beginning. Like he said, we were using that 2000 Tundra, but then on the heavier loads, we were using the Escalade. And it's like,
Hmm.
we were just going to end up tearing it up, you know? So it
Hmm.
wasn't making us the money that a truck could make us.
A luxury SUV is just going to depreciate
Yeah.
opposed to this truck where it's going to keep making us money.
So we made
Yeah.
we made the decision together to get rid of it, and we ended up with the truck. And to be honest, the truck's paid itself off, you know, time
Yeah,
and time
no
again
doubt, no
because
doubt.
it brings the money in.
I purchased my truck and I wasn't even gonna do junk removal. I just wanted a nice truck. And
Yeah.
but now that, Big Blue puts in work, Big Blue, my wife's like, babe, this truck is so fucking dirty. I don't even want to go inside of it. Like, what the fuck is this? Is $100,000 truck, damn there. And I just like, babe, I'm knee deep in the mud at the landfills. And what
Mhm.
the fuck was I thinking buying this 12-inch, 15-inch screen and electric steering wheels and heated seats and
Yeah.
what the fuck? Babe, it's a work truck. So, that's just one of the things that I did. But I wasn't gonna go back and just turn it in and get another, dump truck. But
Yeah.
that's just my story. But my truck, I'm gonna need one of those personal detailers to come into my house and clean my truck for like $200 or $300. Like they stay at your house 5 hours cleaning everything.
A
Hey, but
couple of
you
times.
work your ass off. You want to drive. You want to be comfortable what you drive, right? You want the
Yeah.
features. You want what it is. You work hard for it, so why not have it, right? I mean, to say, oh, one day or when I get older, I'll get it. Life is, life is anything could happen in life, So if you don't enjoy life now, who's to say you're gonna be around 5, 10, 20 years later to enjoy it? So you gotta
So
live life now.
so with that said, where is Load Runners in the next few years?
Within the next 5 years, I see us off the
Well, I
truck
didn't
and
want to I
we're
didn't want to say 5 because everybody else says 5. But you can
no,
go.
but that's
Say three. Say three.
no, like I'm saying within the next 5 years. I want us to be off the trucks and working on the business and not in the business. We already have like a strong backing of people who want to take over already, but I'm
Mhm.
just not ready to like let it go yet. We
Yeah,
started it like say it's like one of our kids, it's our baby. And we've
yeah,
had even people like send us emails that they want to buy the business already. And we're like, what the heck? Like
yeah.
to us, that's crazy. Like we're not trying to
You have a
sell or
cash
anything like that.
you have a cash cow and you don't mind working or getting dirty.
Yeah,
So why would I give this away and then have to go back
exactly.
to something that I don't know really is going to work for me when I know this
Yeah,
is working for me?
exactly. Like the recipe's already there and we're just making the product better and better.
What about
So
you,
we're
Vince? What about you, Vince? What do you think about 5 years from now?
Well, like I'm agreeing with what she's saying, but like junk
That's a
removal,
smart husband right there. That's a smart husband.
it is a stepping stone for us. It is, like I said, it hasn't. We're not at that point yet. We haven't reached that point in junk removal where it's life changing, life changing. Life is great and everything is getting paid, but for me to say, "Wow, it really changed my life," we're not there yet. And until we're there yet, then we could step off and say, "Okay, let's invest in this, let's
Mhm,
invest in that."
mhm.
But until we get there, me and her have to keep putting in the work because that's the only way we're gonna get to that next level.
No
We're
doubt.
gonna hustle hard every day, even if it's 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. Do what we gotta do because that's the way we're gonna get there. And we know that if we keep putting in the work, eventually we're gonna get there because there's no other way. There's no other way. So we're gonna die trying, but like I said, we just using this job. We love it, but we're using it for the capital so we could invest in property and
Mhm.
investment. That's the
And a
ultimate
but
goal.
and a
I
big
don't
dually
want
truck.
to I don't want to let it go
Get
though.
my dually truck
The dually, the Denali
and
dually.
buy my rancho, a big ass ranch. I'm like, buy a big ass
And
five
get those
acre
boots.
property or something.
And get those boots, right?
I actually got some boots on the job and he was like, those aren't going to fit you. I said, yeah, they're my size. I put them on and I started dancing around the house in my boots. I was
Yeah,
like,
I got some boots the other day, and those boots resell good because I get
yeah.
boots. People are like, yeah, I want them right away. I don't even care what size you have because I know someone
That's
who wants.
another thing. So we were reselling like the larger furniture and stuff because it goes fast, but now I'm more into the smaller stuff because it doesn't take up so much space.
Yes,
And on
yes,
eBay, there's a lot of things that sell quick too, on eBay
yes,
and even on
hmm,
Marketplace where like
yeah,
those things like shoes or like a
mm,
sweater, vintage clothing, stuff like that goes
yeah,
like that. And it
yeah.
goes for, a good
Me
amount.
and speaking of that, me and my wife just talked about it this morning. Let's go on ChatGPT and we asked ChatGPT what is the best things that sell on eBay.
Yeah.
You know, and of course the smallest things, you know, electronics, you know,
Yeah.
clothing, you know, this, that, and it's just you can ask Chat GBT. It's a lot of things. So are you guys using Chat GBT for a lot of the business or to help you with your business?
So I use chat, but I also use another one called Grok. So
Hmm.
there's so many different AI chatbots
Yeah.
that you can
Hmm.
use. But yeah, I've definitely been utilizing it and not just like playing around asking like dumb little questions. Like I
Hmm.
have like conversations with chat, so it
Yeah.
gives me
Yeah.
like, you
Does
know,
it help? Does ChatGPT, does the media that you use, does it also help you with your posting on your Facebook and all your social media with like the proper grammar or the proper keywords? And
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, even now I started using it for my Google My Business like
yeah,
replies
yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
somebody
content.
just left us a review, and they used AI to leave our review, so we
Hmm.
used AI to leave
To
it back.
respond back.
So,
Yeah, so for those responses,
so how many reviews we got now?
50,
52, 51.
is it? Yeah, so like either 51 or
Nice,
52.
And we
nice. You got,
try, we
yeah,
try,
yeah.
we try. You
But
know,
there's a lot of clients that we've helped that they don't even have a cell
Yeah,
phone. They call us from
yeah,
their landline, you know, and they don't even
yeah.
have social media or anything. So
Mhm,
a lot of those older ones, we just did a job recently where she ended up having her daughter leave us a review because she didn't have
mhm,
no type
mhm.
of way to
Well,
do it.
that's how you learn how to, you know what I mean? The daughter left you a review. So, you know,
Yeah.
that's just you got to do what you got to do. And I think you guys having 50 reviews for your first year, that's actually good. I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
you right
You think
now.
so? I don't know. I was kind of
No,
sad
yeah, we
about
were a little sad.
no, no.
Because we've
You're
done over 100 jobs for sure.
Be
you,
well over
Yeah,
it.
we're well over 100 jobs.
we are all small business, and for you to do that, you know what I mean, in your area, it just
Yeah.
it's all about your area. If you're in an area like, say, you were in downtown LA, everybody is techie, so of course you're going to get more reviews. In my area, there's a lot of people who are techie, but then I service a lot of senior citizens who just, I'll give it to you, but they don't.
Yeah.
Now,
So
you
you
know
know.
what, too, is a lot of our jobs are hoarder jobs and they're really like confidential about it. They don't want to
Yeah,
go
yeah.
out there and say, you know,
Mhm.
they cleaned out my hoarder house. You know,
Yeah.
they don't want to.
Is that
And
why
we
he has
work.
glasses now? Is that why he has the Ray-Ban glasses?
Yeah, but not only that, but it's because it's hard to like get content when you're actually doing the job, you know? Like if we're
Yeah.
both picking up a couch, who's going to be filming?
Yeah,
So
that's some good footage off of it already.
it's easier for him to say, "Hey, Meta, start recording" or whatever, and he could get the videos of me lifting from, you know, the opposite
So
side or him doing the stuff POV.
so a lot of footage you see from us guys on Facebook and YouTube and all this stuff, our team, they already know it's photo time. Stop what
Yeah.
you're doing. You know what I mean? So we could be knee deep in a bunch of shit and they already know it's photo time. So they all, you know
And
what I
this is doing things like this is helping him come more out of his shell where he will let me like record and film because when we're
mean?
doing the job, he wants to get the job done as quick as possible. And if I try to pull out my phone and I'm like, hold on, let me grab some content real quick, he's like, no, we don't have time for that. And I'm like, this is like the important thing. These are like the photos that we're going to show
Mhm,
to our clients of the
mhm,
things that we're
mhm.
doing, you know, like
So,
I
so
think now he's gaining that importance.
so let me speak on that. So V Love, you have to realize that as soon as she takes a picture, Google knows where she took that picture at.
Yeah, yeah,
And AI sees all that. They know where you took that picture at. So if you were doing virtual assistants like in another country and they load all your pictures at, those people don't know shit about where that picture was taken from. They don't know what Pacific zip codes you use. That's when you being in you and in the United States, that's where it's so powerful is your photos and your phone. So you have to make that effort, V, that you have to let her take the pictures and a voiceover after, but you have to let her do that because Google knows everywhere you take that picture and then, every few days you update your Google. That's how
yeah.
you're going to rank so high with your SEO and your ranking. So you have to put that. I don't care. My team, they know this motherfucker takes a lot of pictures and a lot of videos. And I do a hang on, I gotta do it again because you're messing up. I'm talking and you're doing all that banging in the background. Do it again. It's so important, Vince, that Vince, you should be the photographer while she's in front of the camera and you're taking pictures of her working.
Well, that's why he got the glasses now because, like I said, a lot of the jobs that we do are like dirty jobs where there's like bugs and mice, and
Yeah,
we're with the gloves. We don't want to be touching our phones, either, and
get over
transferring
it.
whatever germs and stuff. So
Get over it. I take my gloves off and I take pictures. When I come home, I rub my phone down with alcohol.
we
It's
do that.
We have a bunch of alcohol wipes in the car.
so that's how important it is because that's going to help you with your SEO so much. People don't realize that when you count on someone else to do it for you, it's not like when you take that picture because Google knows where you took that picture at. And
Yeah,
they know where you did your job at. And it's so important to documentate all that stuff into your journey and put it into the GMB because that's how you're going to rank so high. And we're never going to have to depend on paying for a lead.
yeah.
So,
For like a lot of our
mm,
jobs, I think maybe like 7 jobs from last week that we did, they all came from Google, and we've never
yes,
paid for a Google ad,
right.
since starting the business. But
Mm,
I ask every client, like, oh, how did you hear about us? Some will say the Nextdoor app, some will say
mhm,
Facebook or
mhm,
whatever, or a realtor referred you. But like
mhm,
at least 7 of the jobs we did last week, they said, oh, I just found you on Google. We
mhm,
even did one where we did it down the street from one of our repeat clients' house. He was like around the corner. I said, oh, so and so around the corner. He said, yeah, I know him. And then I was like, oh, is that how you heard about us? He said, no, I found you guys on Google. I was like, oh, shoot.
mhm.
Yeah, but
And
if you look at our pictures on Google, on the Google My Business, all of our pictures are tagged with zip codes. All of
mhm.
them.
But V, you can make more and you could do more and put that time and take a few seconds and say, hey, I don't want to be in the picture, but let me photograph her. Because a lot of people, they they're not used to seeing a female into this business. And when they see a female getting busy, they might support the female more because you don't know what the client likes. It just might generate more for you guys that you have to put that effort in to stop. It's like what I say with fishing: CPR, catch, photograph, release, mandatory. You know what I mean? But we're not releasing that money. You know what I
Ain't
mean?
that the truth?
But this video was beautiful, and I got one last question.
Yep.
What's what's the future with load runners and YouTube?
So as you can see the background,
I love it.
we're
I
trying
love
to
it. I
trying to
love
step up my game,
No,
but
you good. Good.
I don't want to do like so we're coming, YouTube, we're coming. So I actually made a script yesterday because I
Oh,
want to be like the YouTuber that does like Matt and JoJo's content. I like their content,
mhm,
and their filming game has increased so much over the
mhm,
years. Like if you go back to their older videos, was
mhm.
just like on the fly filming, but
Yeah.
now their newer stuff, like the one they posted today, like I
Mhm,
even left a comment on there, like their filming has evolved so much over the years. So I
mhm.
want to start with content like that. I want to
Yeah.
start with informative content
Mhm,
where I'm
mhm.
actually helping those in the community and
Yeah.
building a stronger junk removal,
And
community. So
those
the
those type
content's coming.
those type of videos, and you link them to your website. Community interaction on your
Yeah,
website. Yeah, and you put the links to them. Oh, that's a killer because people rather support you because you support the community. You know
yeah.
what I'm talking about, Vince? Let's go. Let's get
That's
into
it.
that. I love your background. It looks natural, and people think they need all this and all that. I got a flag behind me. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just I'm making it happen. And I've let you know what camera I use and stuff like that. And just I highly highly support you guys' YouTube journey. And
I appreciate it.
before that, I highly support you two on your grind and how you dedicated your life to this. And you know what you guys are doing. I support your children, and I know you guys work hard for them. And
Yeah,
that's why
for
I got
sure.
you guys on this show because I I had to give you guys' flowers. because
We
We
appreciate it.
appreciate it.
here's this couple I met at the Junk Expo, still kind of, Similac on them, and they're not fully walking yet, but it's just like, there's something about you guys. And
After that junk expo, that's when we really got like boots on the ground. Because before that, we were doing junk removal, but after the expo, so if anybody is, like I said, looking into going into this business or just starting out, that junk expo will really help to like fuel your fire. That's what made us like go for real all in and take the course and do everything we had to do. That's what pushed us to the next level.
you two are doing the weekend thing in the expo, the both days.
Yeah, we're probably gonna be there for like 4 or 5 days. Yeah,
Okay.
but we're gonna be there for the expo for sure.
Nice, nice. We're definitely going to be in the building. And how can people see your story? How can people see you if they want to see how Low Runners does it? Let the people know where they can find you.
Social media, Load Runners Junk. So like Instagram at Load Runners Junk. On Facebook, it's Load Runners Junk Removal. And
Mhm.
then I have TikTok too, but I hardly post on there. But everything, even including our YouTube, is just gonna be at Load Runners Junk.
So that's on Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah,
Nice,
and
nice.
YouTube's coming soon.
The YouTube is coming soon, and
Yeah,
it's just,
it's coming for sure. Like within the next week, like I said, I made my script out, so I already got my video planned, and we're
yeah.
gonna do it. So
You,
hopefully he jumps on board with it.
no, he will. He will.
No, that's good.
You
You
get
get
a
in there.
you get a whiteboard in front of you, so you already know what to say. Vincent's side, Sarah's side, and Vincent's very good at cutting you off and taking over the show when he talks, as I could tell. But it's okay, you know what I'm saying? But thank you guys so much for being part of the show, and this is episode 3, and we're going to be having it air pretty soon, and it was a blessing, and I'm so thankful that you guys have been on the show, and uh, uh that's a wrap. You know what I
And
mean?
don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So what do you guys think?
We gotta do the yee